of you are buzzing with questions. And the attention that Zoho has been getting right now, I know you have a million questions to ask me. But I'm going to flip the script a bit and ask you all a question. So, how many Zoho apps can you name? And if you're going to name Zoho Mail or Zoho CRM, you don't get a point. So tell me, how many apps can you name? And if you can just, say a app out loud. Zoho Recruit, Zoho Click, Zoho Campaign, RTI, okay. I mean, no popular apps, okay? Something else, we have 50 plus applications, so I guess you can all name around at least 10 applications by now. A Zoho Scanner, okay. Zoho Sites, okay, better. The audience knows Zoho a lot. Now the session is going to be interesting then. Hi, I'm Nandini, and a little bit quick intro about me. So I've been with Zoho for 3 years now, and I handle marketing and partnerships for the program called Zoho for Startups. And I'm here to help you understand how being digital first is super important, especially as a startup founder, and how Zoho and Zoho for Startups can play a meaningful role in your journey. So, if I ask you another question, I'm going to ask a lot of questions, okay? So we'll all get used to that now. If I can ask you one more question about what would be the 2 essential things that a startup founder needs? No, the basic, when you're starting, what are the 2 things that would need? Idea. Someone said something? System, okay. This start, okay, we are all looking beyond the idea part, but you would need time and money, right? Well, for the money part, I'm going to let you all figure out how you can get that. But with time, I'm going to help you. Instead of working 20 hours a day, you could make the systems work efficiently, and you can make all the systems do the heavy lifting for you so that you can spend less time with systems and more time developing your vision. So these are a couple of our founders who have gained our startup program access and who have a couple of things to say to you all. We have Nidhi from S4S, who said that they were not sure about committing to a software, but the program gave them the leverage to get started with Zoho. And there is Amit from Aqualogica, who works on 20 plus applications of Zoho. So the next founder who could feature on our testimonials could be in this room. So why digital first matters, and why these founders are saying move to a digital first platform so that you can get started, and when you're scaling, that doesn't have to worry you. So the number one thing is, when you're scaling, all of your teams would be just one-man army or a one-woman army, right? So when you're scaling, you can set up things according to how you want the structure to look like and how you would want your building to scale, your organization to scale, and gaining a competitive edge. So if you have your nodes or your system laying around in your desk, you're not going to be organizing, right? You're going to be living in chaos, and organizing that particular thing is going to take you more time and energy than spending in setting up a basic system. And you're going to build your operation. You're not just going to guess, okay, would this work for me or would this not? You're going to do a systematic analysis. You're going to measure what works for you and what doesn't. And you're going to build a system that's customer first. And of course, in the process, you're going to build your own brand. And final, with all the AI and everything booming, don't you need to future-proof your startup? And software is the way to go. Challenges, I know. Everybody in this room would have a long story to say what challenges you have felt and what challenges that you have gone past through to just get your startup started, right? A couple of other challenges that we regularly encounter with the founders in our community is finding a right co-founder, finding the market research, getting licenses and permits, and adapting to right tools, building a brand, and of course, acquiring customers. So where can Zoho play a part in this? I know we always underpromise and overdeliver. So I'm going to stick with, we are going to help you with adapting to the right tools. Before I say why choose Zoho, I'm going to tell you why you should think as a digital first founder. So right now, most of you would be using a couple of other tools, right? A couple of questions to ask your tools is, do these tools talk to each other? Meaning, are you feeding information from one tab to another? Or are these tools seamlessly integrated? Are you working in silos? Or are you working in a way where you set the hit button and then the program runs for you? So, as a setting up founder, I would suggest all of you to think from an angle where your software should do all the heavy lifting for you. Instead of you spending a little bit amount and time right now would help you and your startup while you're growing. And that's something you can invest right now, the time and energy. When you're growing and you're already a 100-employee startup, I don't think you would be wanting to sit and do all the basic work, right? So, how smart software can help you do that? Like I said, you're wearing too many hats. So starting up founders generally tend to take all the marketing, sales, and support jobs on themselves. So while you're doing that, why don't you set up an automation and delegate system? When you're hiring new hire, why don't you set an immediate learning module so that you don't have to sit with them and train them? And lack of structure. This is something that's not just a problem with startups, it's a problem with all the businesses, right? You start with chaos, but that's not the reason why you shouldn't set up a proper system and standardized workflows. And workflows, like the name suggests, work will flow for you. So that works for themselves. And scaling in chaos and working with separate apps. If you're working in silos, your apps are going to take more energy than what you're paying for them. So instead of working in silos, look for more application that would help you build more integrated apps, that the data would flow by themselves, and cost and time and pressure. So I know most of them would not want to invest in a software right away. But if you do a little bit research, there are so many freemium products in the market. And there are so many programs like Zoho for Startups, for instance, that would give you a leverage on using software for free and for a limited time so that you can make your own decision and you can see what works and what doesn't. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips that you can navigate in using software. Define your problem statement first. What is the problem that you're looking to solve? What is the workflow that is not working right now right for you? Prioritize integrations. Do not work in silos. I think I'm saying this for the third time, so you all know this is important. And you start with a small team. Like how you do skincare, you have to do a patch test with your software too. So see how it works. See how they store your data. And the fourth one is have a migration plan. No matter what, always you should have a backup plan, not just in life, with your software too. And check about the security and compliance. So this is something that is super important. You have to know where your data is stored, what they're doing with your data, are they selling it to the third-party applications, and how your data has been taken care of. Data is as important as your startup is. So investing in something that's super secure is super important, even at early stage. And choosing the tools that would scale with you. You don't need a software, you need a software that works like a rubber band, not like a pot, right? When you're scaling, the software also should be able to accommodate how you're scaling and the amount of data that you're going to process later when you scale, so that you don't have to be stuck in one particular place. And a couple of things to avoid is do not buy just for the shiny features. Oh, this is getting trending, so I think I have to use this and see how this works for my startup. No. Do not try solving all the problem at once. Try doing one step at a time, solve one issue that you have with your software, and then go to the next one. So putting on everything, this is literally what we have so much sayings like, do not break a paper together, tear it into one pieces. So that's how trying to solve everything at once would make your software bill expensive and your decision super uncomfortable, I guess, and over customization. So I'll always suggest startups to start small, and whatever application comes in with, do the minimal customization so that even if you have to exit one software to another, it will be easy for you to process your data. It will be easy for you to migrate from one application to another. And do not ignore how the app works for you. So you have a variety of team, right? And not everybody has to be techies or someone who's well versed with tech. So you find apps that have really good UI and UX that support people who understand tech and people who don't. So it's easy for your team in learning the technology and in getting onboarded with that particular software. And do not skip a plan B. You always have to have a plan B while you're choosing a software vendor. And a couple of things on why that you have to choose your software super early is this helps you prevent chaos. This helps you pick the right tool. Like, this is the time period where you can test the waters. You could see if that works, or if it's too complicated for your team. And you can also see if the customer service and everything is attentive to you, so that when you're scaling and you have a problem, you already have a good rapport with the software team or your software vendor with that. And avoid cost building in rebuildings. So when you set up in a particular software and you're moving to another, so you're going to start from scratch, right? So instead of doing that, when you have a backup plan, you know where you can get started with and how you can do that. And whichever supports your MVP faster, go that way. And always look out for that's something that's aligned with security and compliance. Always check the software vendor's white pages, see if you are understanding it, and if you have any questions, go to their website or go to their team and reach out to them and understand how that works, because that's super important. I know most of you startup founders love number. Any guesses on what this is? 100 million? So any idea of what 100 million means? Any guesses? Yes. We have over 100 million Zoho users across our global business. And I'm going to tell you why, as a startup's founder, you can choose Zoho. And that's up to you. You choosing Zoho or not, that's up to you. But I'm going to give you reasons on why. We are a private company with public vision. We have been in the game for 30 years now. We have around over 100 million users, and we have recently reached our 1 billion revenue. And we have 55 plus applications for all your business needs. And even if this 55 doesn't satisfy your business need, we have other apps that can help you satisfy that. And we are completely bootstrapped, and privacy is something that we boast about. Our white papers and our security guidelines are in super plain English that anybody who reads that can understand where your data goes and what we do with it. And this is where I come in. I'm from Zoho for Startups, and I'm going to walk you through on benefits of how startups can leverage the program. We have been running Zoho for Startups for 8 years now. And any startup that comes through this program gets free resources, regional-based offering, free consultation, and the flexibility to pick and choose with all the 55 plus applications. You're not restricted to one bundle. You're not restricted to one application. You can go, you can wander around, you can see what works for you and what doesn't. And we have something called classic support, where our team would take care of all the queries that you have, and they'll help you out, figure out what you can do with the product if you're lost somewhere. And this is suitable for all startups, not just early stage, someone who's in a building up in between or setup stage or startup stage. You can still use our program. And what's the benefit? So you'll be getting 1.86 lakh worth of credits that you can use for Zoho software. These credits are built in 2 stages. Number 1 would be stage 1 credit, which is 1 lakh. And the stage 2 is 86,000 when you host your domain with us. And these credits are valid for 360 days. And then you could see around what works. Let's break it down. So I've been talking about the 50 plus applications without giving you, a sneak peek about what we can do for you. So while you are in the foundation stage where you're setting up, and now many of you are taking notes, right? So now you're going to take these notes and type it out and send it out to your team. Instead of doing that, open Zoho Notebooks, which is one of our freemium applications. You can write down whatever notes that you're sharing and share it in our Zoho Click, which is our internal communication app. And then if you want to convert this into an email, easily move it on to Zoho Mail, which has a freemium plan and has been getting so much attention, I know. And we have something called Zoho Sites. Most of you in this room are not really from a coding background. But when you want to build an application, when you want to make a first impression, website is going to be your first handshake with your customers. And while building it, you're going to put your heart and soul into it. But you're going to leave it to a developer, or you're going to leave it to a different team. That's up to you. But you want to create your own website? Sure, go ahead to Zoho Sites. It's a low-code site development platform, so that you don't really need to have that much of a tech knowledge to create a site and make it up and running. And there's Zoho Meeting. You can go on meetings with your internal or external folks. And when you're a little bit, now I'm no longer in the starting up stage, I'm going to start off a bit. I'm going to use a bit more applications. I have a couple of people in my team. So how I'm going to do that? So I'm going to start with Begin, a CRM that's made for startups and small businesses. And Zoho Recruit for recruiting new hires. And we have something called Zoho People that manages your whole people profile and your human resources. And Zoho Payroll, which can be connected. If you see, everything makes sense when you're connecting it to each other. And there's Zoho Payroll for all the employees, for your employees' payrolls. And there's Zoho Projects, where you can develop it into tasks and you can give it to your fellow team members. And Zoho Social, so that now you've built your website in the setup stage, right? Now you're starting off. So you're going to need much more brand awareness, and you're going to build more social sites, social platforms, right? So where you can integrate everything into one system is where Zoho Social works. And then you're going to move to Zoho Campaigns, where you can send email campaigns, you can start your own marketing campaigns and everything. Now that you're in a scaling up stage, Nandini, I've moved on. I've moved on from setting up to startup to scale up. Now from Zoho Begin to Zoho CRM is a quick transaction. Like I said, your backup plan is super easy. You have already your data stored here. You're going to make it move to Zoho CRM, and that's where it's going to help you build more complex systems. And then we have Zoho Books and Zoho Analytics for the data that you've been getting, and you're going to analyze how that works for you, and Zoho Desk for customer ticketing system. And Zoho Creator is one of our applications that's a low-code application where you want to build something custom. Right now, you've been using whatever is there in the market, but you want a bit more custom application, or you want to customize whatever workflow that you already have, you can directly go to our low-code platform, and you yourself, after watching a couple of videos or understanding how Creator in general works, can get started with our low-code Creator platform. So all of this I've showed here are something called standalone applications, and we have something called Zoho One, which is a bundle, which has most of these applications. Whatever domain that you take, let it be marketing, sales, or HR, we have a bundle called Zoho One, where everything comes under one suite of application, so that all your data is under one home and it can be easily circulated. For example, you have there's something called Zoho Work Drive, where you can store your files and you can create files there. You're creating a writer document, which is our Word document. So you're creating one, and you're going to upload it to your Zoho Mail. So you're going to, instead of downloading it and uploading it in Zoho Mail, you're going to go add attachments and go pick it from Work Drive. And you're going to put that particular writer document in your email, and you're going to be sending that email. Easy, right? So let's move on. So if I haven't convinced you yet on why you should pick Zoho, I'm going to give you a couple of other reasons on why you should try Zoho. So we have budget-friendly applications, seamless integrations, one design that would scale with you. Whether you're any stage of your building your startup, you're setting up or scaling up or starting off, these apps are going to help you. And simple and intuitive UI, data privacy, and one ecosystem that houses all your application. So I know, now you're confused on, okay, I'm not really sure on which products to pick, or the program is not something that I understand from what you have explained. We have 2 email addresses that can help you. Support at Zoho for Startups is our support team that can help you with product queries and any technical questions that you might have. And for anything related to program or credits, you can write to info@zohoforstartups.com. Okay, Nandini, you have been telling about 55 plus applications. How am I going to navigate? What is Zoho going to do to help me, even if I want to pick Zoho? We have something called Zoho Concierge. Concierge team would sit with you, understand what your pain points are, understand how your business workflows are, and help you map the Zoho applications that would work right for you. And you want to know the interesting part of this? And this is completely free. So you can use credits and you can use our concierge services to build whatever applications and whatever software needs that you have free for the first 360 days. I feel like that's a win-win. Don't you agree also? So, okay, after listening to all of this, I feel like I'm not ready to get started with the software. So what would you suggest I do in this case? So I would suggest you could document your processes, whatever you're doing from start, document it, track using simple sheets. Keep everything in one master sheet so that you can go back to it and you can understand wherever, you're not lost. You have everything under control. Build thorough checklist. No matter what the process is, even if it's simple, picking up a mail from mailroom and dropping it off in someone else's office, always note down what you're doing and build checklist. And prepare for a smooth migration later. So you have your data, put it in one format. Don't put it scattered. Always have one format and one standardized process so that when you're moving to a different application or you're moving to a software, that's going to help you avoid all the chaos and the time that you're spending in just manual data entry. And these are a couple of freemium applications that you can get started immediately. We have Zoho Mail, which offers a forever free plan. No matter how big you scale, you decide that you don't want to pay for your mailing application, sure, Zoho Mail is the way to go. And we have other applications that you could venture. You could see if that works for you before committing full time. And I'm going to end with what our founder says. So scaling isn't just about creating revenue. It's about creating and refining and adapting your processes along with the people in your organization. No matter how big you're scaling, the people, like our company's motto, we always are people first. And that's something that I would like I'm leaving you all with.